All right, I'm going to start the call. Um, Tonight's topic, I know Cassie wanted to cover as well with you guys, is the importance of personal development. I wasn't introduced to personal development until I was about 6 months into coaching. Um, and it was during a very frustrating time for my business because I was newly into it. I didn't have a whole lot of guidance. We didn't have a lot of training groups and stuff. We just had the online coach training academy. So that's basically all I had. I didn't have much support. And then I connected with Lee Ratterman, who at the time was my up line. And she was about 4 levels above me. And she contacted me and just wanted to introduce herself to me. I sat and told her about my struggles, and she asked if I was doing any sort of personal development. I had no clue what that meant. I had no idea what it could do for me. And I cannot remember what the first personal development book that I ever read was The Compound Effect. If you haven't read it, it's one that you all need to read. It's really, really good. It teaches you literally what the compound effect is. As you keep learning things and you just keep doing these small little things, it will end up being something bigger. And with personal development, it is going to help refocus you depending on what you need. Some people I know like to connect to their spiritual side and read more religious-based books that kind of help ground them spiritually and just help them focus that way. Let's see. Erica hasn't read that one yet. No, The Compound Effect is definitely one in your business that you want to read. It's super important. That's a really, really good one. I have not read Failing Forward. I know that was one that was recommended. And I do have a list of personal development books. I think it's actually in our team page, but I don't think it's in the F Word group. So I will post it in there so everybody can see it. It literally breaks it down for different things that you need. Like if you need something more business-based or spiritually based or emotional, and it just has a whole list of books that people have recommended, and most of them I have read. Where was I going with? Compound Effect. And then I read the Push book, and I was asked by Chalene Johnson to give a testimonial just from the book and what I thought of it. The Push book is really, really good. If you have not read that one, that's another one to read. She helps you focus on small goals and, literally pushing you outside of your comfort zone to do things that you're not used to doing. I found out actually in that book, in the very beginning, she talks about, just who she is as a trainer. Come to find out, but she doesn't say it exactly word for word, but she was supposed to be Jillian Michaels on The Biggest Loser. So, and she chose not to take that role. And it's so crazy because you're sitting there thinking, okay, what would Biggest Loser be without Jillian Michaels? Shalene doesn't have that sassy bone in her body to be that way, like be really hard on people like Jillian Michaels is. So that was a neat little fact in there that I learned about her. And when I talked to Lee, she really introduced me more into, reading the books. And honestly, with my kids being so little, it was really hard for me to sit down and read a book. I had to try to find 10, 15 minutes in my day just to read, try to focus, and just really try to understand what I was reading. Some days I read the same page 50,000 times because I couldn't get through it all the way. And when I finally finished the book, I felt really good. And actually there was a few books that my husband read with me. I'm trying to think. Joe, what was that one book that you read? Remember that personal development book I had you read? You really liked it? Oh, Go for No. Yeah, Go for No. That was another really good one. Joe read it too. And it was, the Go for No was mainly about a guy. Literally, that's what he did. He would go for those no's and would, surprise himself because how many out of those no's ended up being a yes. And he just talks about how you have to talk to more people. You can't be afraid of those no's. You have to push through them. It kind of tells almost like his story. It's a really, really good book. And if I can, I know I have that on my list of all those books to share with you guys. I have it in my Google Drive, and I have it as a photo. And I know I just sent it to my friend Monisha just the other day, so I can kind of look to see if I have it in my pictures that I sent to her. Oh, right here. Okay. So like for struggling with confidence, there is a spiritual book by Joel Osteen, Every Day a Friday, Unlimited by Jillian Michaels, Push by Shalene Johnson, and You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. If you're struggling with time management, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. I know that was one that Diana, that was on our team, she loved that book. Push is another one for that. If you're struggling with leadership, there's Developing the Leadership Within by John C. Maxwell. Any of his books are phenomenal. He was actually a keynote speaker at one of our summits in Vegas, and I could have listened to him for hours. He was amazing. People Follow You by Jeb Blount. If you're struggling with nutrition and challenge groups, Eat Clean, Recharge by Tasco Reno. Made to Crave by Liza Turquist. I don't know, probably butchered that one. Struggling with social media, Ask Gary V. That's a really good book. He's very blunt. Jab, Jab, Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. He was another keynote speaker we had last year, was it? Joe, were you there last year when Gary Vaynerchuk spoke? He was the one that talked about Snapchat being the next. Okay, yep, he was there last year. Struggling with understanding this business, GoPro is a phenomenal one. Eric Worre, I'm actually in a training course of his, and he's teaching me about social media and where it's moving to. It is worth every single penny. Now that I've purchased it, I'm able to have access to it all the time. He put everything into documents. I printed out all of these papers that came with it. It's really incredible the way he broke like the price way down for people that did his webinar. So GoPro, Eric Worre, that's a really important one to read. If you guys don't have it, let me know. I do have a few extra copies of it. I can possibly send you one. Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. That's a really, really good one. She helps you learn so much about network marketing. Struggling with Connecting with People, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. That's another really good book because it teaches you what each person needs. And even in relationships, it's super important. It'll teach you people's personalities. There's people that are not mushy and huggy like me that I am. And so if I'm trying to work with somebody, and they're not that kind of personality, it's like going up against a brick wall. If you're struggling with consistency and achieving the goals, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I think The Slight Edge is the one. I think that's what Amber Potter was reading, I think. Then Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Struggling with Your Faith, If You Were Made for a God-Sized Dream by Holly Girth, and Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. I have more books I need to add to that. There's like quite a few. Actually, the one I'm reading right now is Get Over Yourself. It's really, really good. The last call that we had, Cassie said it was the Rodin and Fields. I don't even know I know it's like a skincare line, but she is like the top person in that business. With personal development, anytime my business is in a lull or I'm feeling kind of crappy, I pull out some book. And maybe the book I'm reading at the time is not working amazing for me. I have a plethora of books in my library on my Kindle. I just actually got the free copy. You could pay shipping for the Life's Golden Ticket. I just saw in the Team B group, a friend of mine posted in there, you could get the free copy of it, and you paid like $3 to get the, let me see here, hold on. To get the book, I got it here, hold on. Okay, so here's the book, Life's Golden Ticket. And so at the very end of the book, there is a ticket in the end. So like a little ticket, and it tells you not to open the envelope to read the ticket, until you've read the book. It says, warning, opening this envelope before you've read the entire book diminishes the magic of what's inside. Read the book first, Trust Me, by Brendan. He was our keynote speaker at Summit this last year. So, and he was so good to listen to. I loved our keynote speakers, and I've heard that next year's summit is going to blow our mind by who we have coming. So I don't know who it is because I can't seem to get it out of Jemima yet. But like I was saying, my books are all based on what I need. So, I mean, I don't know, it's depending on what you need. Like I'm reading a book also that's, it has like a devotional to it too. And it's called The Confident Woman. So every day of the year, you could read it if that's something you're looking for. And I read it every day, no matter what. And it's one that you can keep rereading because it's 365 days and you just keep starting it over, and it has the dates. Any other books that I'm thinking off the top of my head that I have read? Let me see. I'm trying to think of another one. I had one in my head that I was going to share with you. Oh, definitely the You Are a Badass. That one's really good. I have a few other books on my shelf that was recommended to me, but I haven't read them. And I think from what I've gotten from reviews from people that are younger than me, they said they were more aimed towards the younger era, maybe in your 20s. So like there's one that's called I'm That Girl. And that has to do with network marketing. But the girl that recommended it to me is like 22, 23. And she said it's definitely aimed at that younger era there too. So if any of you guys are interested in that, I can always send it to you to read. Like I said, I've got a bunch of books in there, and many that I've gotten because of recommendations. And I will get through those books, I swear. Erica, I know that you said, let me see here. You sent me the GoPro book, so thanks, because that was a really good one, an easy read. Yes, GoPro is one you could read over and over and over, and you'll still see things that you missed. She has a love language book. So you haven't read it yet? Yeah, I've skimmed it. I looked at the different love languages because I know Joe's is different than mine. We have some that are similar. Like there's a test you take, and it's gonna tell you like what your main language is, and then your smaller, like the ones that are less, I don't know, obvious, I guess, for you. And Joe and I are different. I want to know about that book. I'm That Girl. I think it is. It's on my shelf. I will literally add a bunch of the books that I have in there on my shelf, and I'll put next to it if I've read it or not, but I do have it as available in my library that you could check it out, and as long as you don't ruin it, you can send it back to me. The other thing I know a lot of people do audio. They can't listen to, or they can't sit and read a book. I've tried it on a walk, but I'm weird. I have to have, oh God, I'm going to sound like such a weirdo right now. But if I do it on my Kindle, I always try to find a deal where I can get the book really super cheap somewhere else, like through even a buy, sell, or trade, or like off eBay, super, super cheap, because I have to have the book in front of me to highlight, hey, no, Reese or Liam, nope, it's bedtime. Nope. Go. Joe, just a second, guys. Hold on. Okay. So what was I saying? Crap. Oh, and so on when I want to go for walks, I would listen to audio. Not so awesome because like I said, I need that book to highlight my things, like something that stuck out to me. And I mean, I could listen to it. Oh, excuse me. I could listen to it, but then I have to be able to highlight it, or even in my Kindle, you should see it. I have so many things highlighted in there, and I use it as quotes, or I use it as something just to go back to remind me how I'm feeling that day. And I knew that was something that really resonated with me. And so then I highlight it. There's the TED Talks. The TED Talks are really, really good. You can get them on, if you have an iPhone, I can't remember what it is on Android, but we have podcasts, excuse me. And the podcasts even have the Shakeology ones on there with Darren Oline, and they have, and they're all about Shakeology. Those are really, really good to listen to if you want to know more information. They're short. They're super broke down for you to understand them. I know that a lot of people do not do personal development, and I can tell that they need it because I will get a message from somebody and they are like screaming, I need personal development. They need some way to build that confidence, either in the business, in themselves, something. I cannot tell you how important it is to somehow get some sort of personal development into your business or into your life. There's one personal development book that Joe and I read as a couple, and I thought we were a strong couple in our marriage. And then when we read these books, it was so eye-opening for me because there were things that as I read the book, I was like, oh my God, that is why he does that. Like things that drove me nuts. But it made sense because that it explains how men are made and how their brains work. And so many of the things that drive us crazy, it's just natural for them. And that's why there's usually that conflict between a husband and wife, is because women are just built differently. Men are built differently. And when we have a conflict, it's usually, you're becoming defensive for your own self. Well, it's because that's how you're made. You understand yourself. And other women, they don't understand. I mean, we understand each other. So it makes it, when you read these books, it's just more eye-opening, and it helps you see that I understood that I was at the end, or I was on the end of the not being so awesome. And it just helped me, and it helped Joe. And I love that he's read some of the personal development books that I have. So I know that maybe he takes things away from the book differently than I do. And that's why I think in our teams, we should do like a book club. I think it would be super important for us to do one. I am more than willing to read a book more than once. It's okay. Like if we all agree that maybe GoPro is the one that we should all read, I would read it again. The one that I've heard so many good things about, and because he was one of our keynote speakers, by Brendan, is it Bouchard? Bouchard, I think that's how you pronounce it. I just showed this one too, Cassie. It's The Golden Ticket. And I know other people, Alyssa Ryder that was at Summit this year, said she read it too, and she loved it. I think she's read it twice now. And Cassie, at the end of the book, I don't know if you have this book, but it has a golden ticket at the end. And it tells you on the back of it that you can't open the ticket until you've read the whole book, because it'll diminish the magic of what's inside. So I really want to read this book. And he did talk about it. And I think it seemed like, Cassie, one of your coaches read it. Is it Kelley? Is that how you pronounce it?
Kelley, yep. She said it's changed her life.
Yes, I thought so. And so I was like, okay, so when she said that, and then somebody posted, I said earlier in the Team B group, that she only paid shipping and then she got the book. Well, I bought it on my Kindle, and then I just told everybody how weird I am. I have to have the hard copy too. And I try not to spend too much money on the hard copy. So I always go on eBay and try to find the book just so I can highlight, just so I can pick quotes out that maybe stuck to me that was on, audio or whatever. So, anywho, I'm gabbing on quite a bit about the books I've read. So sounds super interesting. I'd love to have a book club. I did one in high school and loved it. Okay. So I was saying earlier that maybe having a book club for our teams would be a good idea. Like we could pick one book, and then that way that's our focus and try to get it done for the month. I just don't know. I just know that some people's lives don't give them a whole lot of time to read a book. Or if they could get on audio, that might be even easier for them. But then we can do the same book. Then we can all just kind of see how each one of us takes something different from a book. And that's the beauty of personal development. It's everything that we learn. Each one of us are going to take something different from the book or from the audio or from the video that we watch. And I pull out of YouTube videos that inspire me too. Like if there's something I need, I will search on YouTube and I will watch a video. Like I said, those TED Talks are really good. And anything John C. Maxwell, if you can find stuff out there with him. And if there's anything in the business that you're struggling with, that Caleb Thomas, if you like somebody funny that can explain the business, he is perfect. He's hilarious, he's weird, and he's really funny. And one of the other people I follow for coaching business is that Christine Dwyer. I met her in Madison the year I started coaching. I think she came that fall, and she taught a turbo kick class. And this is when she wasn't even, 15-star diamond. I don't even know what she was at the time. It wasn't that high at all, like maybe 5. And she was so down to earth. She's literally this, like a little Polly Pocket. She's so short and tiny. And she was phenomenal. And I started following her the moment I met her. And I like how she teaches. I like how she inspires you, and she's real. She's honest. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. And she's outside the comfort zones all the time. She's making you realize that this business is yours to do what you need to with it. Cassie, if you want to say anything in the next few minutes here about anything that you've read that you want to maybe go over, anything about personal development that you want to add to this.
There we go. I was thinking, one of the ideas in my head was, I was thinking of if we posted maybe a picture, if people are willing to do this, that's the problem, but of the books that we have, if you're ever willing to do a swap with someone so that you don't have to pay money, you don't just put your name on the inside and say, yeah, I've been interested in that one. Also, like posting in our coach groups, like, this is where I feel like my weakness is. This is where I'm feeling kind of blah about. This is where I think I need to hear about, sometimes for me, like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do 10 minutes of business personal development and 10 minutes of something I'm feeling like just in myself, not even as a coach, but that I need to work on. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes I can read an hour or listen for an hour. Other days I don't even get it in, and it's just like too much of an expectation maybe. But if whatever you're feeling, though, if you're feeling like businessy, then do the business. But if you're feeling like, I'm just feeling like not confident in who I am, or whatever at the time, or I feel, like my spiritual part is missing, like I like listening to Joel Osteen sometimes for podcasts. So just knowing that it doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you're doing it, it's going to make you feel better and you're going to move forward. So sharing maybe things that you've read, or even just like Kelley always will do like little blurbs in her posts of like, oh, I'm reading this book and this is what I took from it. And they're always good ones. But even if we just did that in our coaching group and not just our personal pages, and that might strike a chord with someone, like, oh, okay, what book is that? I need that in my life right now, kind of thing. Yeah. And I can do that too. Like I'm just really bad about writing it down when I get something, because my carpal tunnel is so bad. I don't know if you're watching me do this, but that when I'm listening, like I don't even write because my hands hurt so bad from being on my phone all day and my computer at work. So, and holding my phone, and I just don't even write. It's terrible. But maybe I need to get better at that too. Like sharing my little blurbs of what I think really resonated with me during my reading or my listening that day.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, with the Kindle, if I have a book on Kindle, I can just swipe my finger across and highlight it, So I'll just I'll copy it and then I'll put it into my post, or maybe it'll be something I follow up with later. But
yeah, that's the other thing too, is sometimes personal development resonates with you, but sometimes, like, if you're doing personal development, there's no way you never have something to talk about and post about, because you just talk about how it's, you don't even have to say I'm doing personal development. You can just say like whatever came to your mind when you were listening to that book or reading that book.
Well, I mean, the one I'm reading right now, like I said last week, that she talks about like even the girl that I'm in right now, it's almost like she read the same book. The Sarah Dan, she talks about how, I actually just saved her post just a second ago. It was like literally what I just read in my book. I'm like, dude, are you like in my head right now? Because that was creepy.
I used to have that experience with Josh Coates. I'm like, I feel like I'm just naked in front of Josh Coates right now. He just always says the right thing at the right time.
Okay, so she put, there is a very big difference, in fact, between coaching people and babying people. Remember, you can't want anyone else's success more than they want it for themselves. It's unstoppable truth. So like when she wrote that, I was like, I swear to goodness, I just basically read that in my book. And it's kind of how I've been feeling. Like you can't, and that's with anything. That's with coaching in your challenge groups, coaching in your team. Like she said, there's a big difference between coaching people and babying them. Like, and that's one thing I struggle with, is that I want success for people so badly that I get so wrapped up and I let so much emotion get involved that if they aren't succeeding, I take it personally. Like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong for them? Why can't I fix them? Why can't I make it? So that's something I like in my personal development. I need that book to help me grow that backbone and be a better leader by teaching people, that are coachable and not taking it personal if they aren't showing up or they're not being on, like they can't get on a team call because, whatever. I don't want to take that personal. I don't want to feel like it's me or they didn't want to be there. It's not that. It's life happens, And so I try to not take anything personal. I got a few messages earlier that a few coaches couldn't be on, and I'm like, dude, I get it. And before I'd be like, oh, really? Why? But the stuff that I've been reading and just learning that I can't take everything personal, and my personal development is teaching me that. So, and I really love what I'm reading right now, and I want to finish this book so badly. And then I want to go on to the Life's Golden Ticket. So, Cassie, I did say I have a photo. I actually was reading it off to the people earlier, where I took it, like if you needed certain things like, spiritual or business or whatever. And I have all this list of books underneath each one of them. I don't know if I posted it in my team page. Oh, excuse me. But I know I posted it. I sent it to a friend of mine just the other day. That's why I pulled it up. But it needs to be added to. And I just said in here too, that if anybody needs me, I have a whole bunch of books in my shelf in there, and I would make a list of what I have read and what I haven't. But it's weird that you totally said this, that I said, if anybody wants to borrow it, whatever, I can send them to them. And I was like, that's just weird that you said it. Cause I'm like, okay, that like you were just in my head.
Yeah, I have mine stacked in my closet. So every time I go in my closet every morning, it's just like, there's my books. I said, maybe do my personal development today. Yep. I need it. I need it bad.
Oh, me too. I get in those weird slumps, and I know when I start getting in my head and I start thinking, oh, maybe it's me, or, oh, I start comparing myself to someone else. I know the one thing I'm lacking is that personal development. And it might sound hokey to some people, but even reading a few pages, I swear there's something in that few pages that I just needed. It just gives me that instant boost of confidence that I can talk to people and not worry, or I can, confront somebody on my team that I need to talk to. And maybe it's it could be anything in my life, talking to my spouse, any of that stuff.
Yeah. Like Erica, I just read your comment, and it's like, I say this all the time. I always get people, like even other coaches, like, Cassie, how are you so disciplined with the workout? And now I get, how are you so disciplined with the eating plan? And of course, that's all coming. That's been a course of years of work. I don't know. Why are you so disciplined with the personal development? Because I can't fucking get there,
Yeah.
And I can because it makes me feel so good. Just like working out, eating better. It makes us feel so good. Like, why can't, that's always the thing that it's like, oh, that's easy. I'll read it. And I fall asleep. I'll listen to my podcast. I get busy at work. It's just like, I don't know. I'm sick of buying my books. I'm like, okay, I'll just get it on audio. Well, Jesus, that's $15 a month when I already own the book. Like, I don't want to do that, but I do get it done better when I have the audio. So then I just resort to my podcast, which podcast is great. It's free. You can get a lot of good stuff, but it's kind of like, Pinteresting your workouts. It's like going to Pinterest and creating a workout. So I got to go to podcasts and find what I'm feeling. And when I have all these books that I know it's in, and I could probably, with the 10 books I have, reread them multiple times and get so much different stuff because I'm in a different place, but I just can't get myself disciplined to do it when my kids hide Jeremy. He looks so creepy. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't know it was Alana's phone. Anyway, so I need to get more disciplined that way.
That's nice. Glad you guys go see my brother half naked. That was,
yeah.
Wow. There you go.
I don't think you're a real Beachbody coach if your significant other has not walked past a call half naked or naked, because mine has been like, Jesus, I didn't know you were on a call.
Do you remember, was it last week or 2 weeks ago when Amber Lanier?
Oh God, yes, that was hilarious.
That was awesome.
He was doing like the Austin Powers like escalator and elevator going up and down. It was
that
really
was
funny.
the funniest thing. And she was like, she just sits there like, oh my God.
All right, Erica, don't be afraid to call me out in one of the groups or in person. Be like, hey, what are you doing for personal development over there? And I better say more than just podcasts. Those should be like my bonuses or like just because I'm feeling extras. They should not be my personal development. I just don't feel as good as when I'm not on a guided book, it's like doing the challenge du jour instead of sticking to a goddamn workout program from beginning to end.
Yep.
Silly. Should not be doing it.
No, I agree 100%.
Okay.
And that's something I need to do as well. Like, sometimes I get up in the morning and I think, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth, get down here and wait for my daycare kids. And like this morning I could have read, but I literally just sat there and stared at the wall. Like I was so like a zombie myself this morning. I need to stop watching The Walking Dead until midnight every night. I'm addicted. I can't stop. It's twisted. I don't know what's wrong.
This is why I don't watch TV, because I get addicted like that. I'm like, I get sucked in, and then I really don't do anything. Oh, shoot, it's after 9. I wanted to get on to listen to Agatha talk, so I'm going to go. Sorry.
Yep. Nope, that's okay.
All right.
I can end it. Guys, we do have the Team B call right after this, and I did post it in the links. It's supposed to be really good. Agatha is really amazing to listen to, so if you guys can jump on that call just to listen. She's phenomenal. I like her. She's got a cool accent too. So I want to thank you guys for getting on the call, and I will post this. I'm going to let this upload quick, and I'm going to try to get on YouTube and post the link right away because I know there's some coaches that wanted to see it. So thank you all for getting on the call. I know Amber Potter was on, Alana, and Erica. So thank you guys. Again, just thank you, and I will post this. So see you later.